Let's talk about tonight's episode of Survivor. I didn't get to last week to have a solo video for Survivor because I was traveling. So I will say some of the things I wanted to say last week, this week, because I said a little bit on our rankings too. But yeah, I'm going to get to this ranting first about the edit and about the production of this fucking season so far. Let's talk about the ridiculousness of this over editing for the advantages. It's way too fucking much because you only got 40 something minutes, around 40 minutes basically, to have your episode, and you're going to dedicate half of it to your fucking beware advantage. I think it fucking sucks because we are getting more airtime for the advantages than to the blue tribe in general. We are seeing nothing from them. We get the little who likes who and who doesn't like who, a little bit here and there, but we have zero on the dynamics. Erica and Heather have zero fucking edit whatsoever. But we could have 20 minutes for the convoluted advantage. I don't like it because not only do you have to go through so much to get the advantage, whatever, but it takes up way too much of the fucking episode. You have 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I don't like it. I don't like the new era of Survivor if it's going to be half the time's dedicated to advantages and you miss out on the dynamics of the tribes. I mean, it's always been a problem on this show because there's been seasons where some tribes win a lot, so they don't get a lot of the edit, which happens. But it doesn't. It's too much. It's too much. You have three tribes and you have all of these things you got to do to get the beware advantage. I was so annoyed with the first half of the episode that I couldn't even enjoy the episode as a whole because it was just too much dedicated to having to get the beware advantage. It was a lot, and Brad was doing the most. Brad deserved to go home. He tried too much. I guess they get what they wanted with the beware advantage. It's not really an advantage. It seems like more of a disadvantage than an advantage. So I mean, I guess I'll like that for the time being. That they have all these advantages that they're dedicating the airtime to, but it's really more of a disadvantage than an advantage when you really think about it. But yeah, I've found the editing this season to just be really bad. We're missing out on a lot of the dynamics that I think would be far more better television than seeing 20 minutes dedicated to Brad, Tiffany, and Sydney talking about taking a tarp or taking the advantage and having to go around finding advantages. It's overkill to say the least. This is why Jeff Probst gets on my fucking nerves as a producer. He's a great host, but producing has never been his strong point. Some of the shit he be talking about, it just doesn't work. He hypes up all these advantages all the time. Any advantage, Jeff Probst will hype it up as fucking spectacular. So yeah. And just some of his opinions on past seasons that were bad or wrong, and some of his anytime Jeff talks about a season, he's usually fucking wrong about it. That's what I've always found from Jeff Probst's commentary. He hyped up the fuck out of the season, and I just don't think it is as great as he wants everybody to believe. So yeah, I know Mike talked about in the rankings that maybe we should watch the extra scenes, but I usually don't do that unless I'm enjoying a season. And maybe it's a testament that I'm actually not enjoying the season because it's so hard to get into because I find the editing to be not good whatsoever. I only watch extra shit like Ponderosa and other extra deleted scenes when I'm enjoying a season. So yeah, I just don't think we should have to watch deleted scenes to see Heather have some kind of edit. I don't even know if Erica has an edit on the deleted scenes, but I'd rather see them dedicate some time in the episodes to seeing the more dynamics of these fucking tribes. Australian Survivor can do a lot of fucking twists because they have several fucking episodes a week sometimes. They have like 20 some episodes on their seasons. So they have time to actually tell dynamics of the tribe, give everybody some kind of edit, and be able to have an overkill of advantage if they want to, even though I find that boring too on Australian Survivor most of the time. But here it is such overkill that you're dedicating half of an episode to advantages when what has made this show great is seeing the characters and the players in this game play out the game and the dynamics between it. So I don't like the overkill, and I had to rant about it because I found last week's episode mediocre at best. This week's episode was fucking subpar. So I had to get the rant out. I'm sorry. The only thing I actually liked in this episode was the challenge. I enjoyed that challenge, probably because there was no fucking puzzle. I get sick of puzzles too on this show. But I enjoyed the challenge today and the throwing the ball up. That was different. So I enjoyed the creativity in a new kind of challenge. Yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of challenges that we've seen many times, but it didn't have a puzzle, so I fucking enjoyed it. Anyway, lastly, I'll just talk about. I felt like Chantel made the right choice for sure for her game, voting out Brad over JD. She could have JD in her pocket. There's clearly some dislike between Ricard and Jeannie that we are not seeing in the edit because we don't get to see dynamics. We have to see advantages. So they don't like each other. So and Ricard's clearly working with Chantel. So Chantel can continue to run the fuck out of this tribe going forward. So yeah, Chantel had a great week, per usual. JD's sloppy, but I actually find like he can recover. I feel like JD could go deep into this game. He's a contender to win this game, despite his funky edit in this episode. I feel like he can recover. But yeah, the editing was all I really wanted to talk about mostly because I found it to suck so far, to say the least. We are just not seeing enough for my liking. Like advantages can be cool when they're used sometimes and to get someone out. They make for good TV moments sometimes, but you need better fucking buildups than we're gonna get this season because there's just too much going on and you don't have enough time to have this overkill, producers. God, I feel like it's Jeff Probst's fault. He's always doing too much as a producer. So I'm gonna blame Jeff Probst. Jeff Probst needs to get his head out of his ass and he needs to decide on a better fucking way to go about these twists because it's too convoluted right now and it takes too much time in the episodes. It's not working.